Hello and welcome to Fox Trading Solution. Today in this video we are going to discuss about variables. Let us firstly discuss about the contents covered in this video. We'll be discussing what are Python variables, how to take user input, what are the different types of variables available in Python, how to print a variable, and how to identify the variable type. So without wasting any more time, let us start with the contents. Let us first discuss what variables are. Variables are used to store any kind of data, be it numerical or character. For example, we can store the company name to be TCS and store the quantity to be 20. Here, company is the variable name whereas TCS is the value and quantity is the variable name whereas 20 is the value. Variable name can be chosen upon our needs. To run a cell, we'll be clicking on Shift plus Enter. We can access the data stored in the variable by just typing the name of the variable. For example, print company. And here we have the company name. Also, we can print a statement as per our need. For example, my quantity is, quantity. Here, my quantity is will be printed as it is, whereas quantity will be referring to 20. As you can see, we have the correct sentence. My quantity is 20. Now let us discuss about how to take input from the user. To take input from the user, I'll be storing the input in a variable. For example, company. As you know, a variable can be rewritten as many times as we want. For taking an input, we'll be typing input bracket, enter the company name. As you can see, an input box has appeared on the screen. We can type the company name here. For example, Reliance. We can also access this company name Reliance by just printing company. We can also take the input as a numerical data. For example, quantity. I can substitute my quantity to be 10 and I can access my quantity here. Now let us discuss about types of variables. There are different types of variables in Python. For example, to store a numerical data, we have integer variable as well as a floating variable. Integer only contains the negative and the positive values and doesn't contain the decimal values, whereas floating contains the decimal values as well as the positive and the negative values. Float is generally used for stop loss and percentage. We can give the floating value and the integer value by just substituting in a variable. I can store my quantity to be an integer value. That can be 10. And I can store the loss to be a floating value, which can be 18.5. To check the type of the variable, we just have to print type bracket the name of the variable. For example, loss. We can also check for the quantity. As you can see, loss is a floating class, whereas type is of integer. There are other kinds of variable as well. The other type of variable are string, list, dictionary, tuple. Let us talk about string. String is used to store character data. For example, I can store the name of the stock to be Infosys. This is a string type of data. We can check the type by just printing type name. You can see it's a string. Also, the data containing numerical as well as character value as taken as string. For example, I can be talking about API key. For example, the API key is something like this. We can check the type of the API key now, and it's a string. We can perform different types of operations on the types of data. For example, we can perform on string as well as integer and float. In string, the name is stored in the form of indexes. For example, if I'm talking about TCS T is stored in index 0, C in index 1, and S in index 2. To access at a particular index, we can just type on the index number. For example, A square bracket 1, and we are getting C. Also, we can check the length of the variable by typing len bracket A. As we can see, TCS contains 3 characters, so the length is 3. Also, we can change the variable TCS to the uppercase by just typing A dot upper and giving the brackets. As you can see, TCS is in uppercase. Also, talking about the operations performed on the numerical data, we can take an example. For example, our capital is 5,000 and the price of a TCS stock is 2,000. We can check the quantity of stock by just giving capital divided by TCS underscore price. Now we are going to print the quantity. As you can see, the quantity is 2.5. So we can perform the other types of operations as well. For example, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and other operations. We will be discussing more about types of variables and typecasting in the next video. Thank you.